and I find myself coming back to...
Ooh, I quite like the way she shaped that back.
Sound check.
G'day, welcome back to another vocal analysis here at Voice Essentials. My name is Dr. Dan. I am a non-clinical singing voice specialist, for those of you who have never met me before. Today we are looking at and reviewing, doing an analysis of a singer who I had never heard of before. And you might go, have you been living under a rock, Dr. Dan? Well, this is the wonderful thing about doing these review videos. You, my wonderful audience, are regularly recommending singers to me that I have never come across. There are so many wonderful singers on the planet, and so, you know, if you were just left to your own devices, you just couldn't be introduced to them all. But doing this, I get to listen to some fabulous singers, and this new singer to me, almost certainly not new to you, is just divine. Her name is Julianne San Jose, and I do hope I'm pronouncing the end part of her name correctly. This is her doing the Wishbus version of a song called Your Song. It's been up on YouTube for a little while. That being said, it's had 45 million views, and there's a good reason for that. It's a beautiful sing. It's interesting. It's not your classic big Western power ballad. Not what I would call big Western, you know, not in the scheme of a Whitney Houston or a Mariah Carey, but it has some lovely building points, and we're going to get to hear Julianne doing a bang-up job of it. Let's dive in and have a listen to this. Again, she's new to me. I've only listened to her after I discovered her, thanks to you. I did go and have a bit more of a listen and went, we've got to do some analysis of this woman. Let's dive in and have a listen to Your Song.
Wish 1075.
Forever lay out in front of me.
I want to listen to just that start again, because it was really important that she got that "it took one look," and getting that really crisp offset on the consonants actually was really important because of the way the song has been arranged, and she nails it. Have a listen.
Wish 1075.
Forever lay out in front of me. One smile, then I die, only to be revived by you. There I was, thought I had everything figured out. It goes to show just how much I know about the way that...
Let's just take it back. I want to have a listen to the vowel shaping here. I would want to hear a little bit more action through the vocal tract in the way she's shaping, giving a little... I think she's got access. And again, this is 6 years ago. We're making a comment on a rather older, recording. And so we don't know... Well, I don't know where she's developed to now. Just taking this as a moment in time, I really do think we could have a little bit more shape. It would give us a little bit more depth of tone, and it would just fill it out a little bit more. It doesn't detract from it at face value. What it could do is just add to it at face value. Just have a listen.
To be revived by you. There I was, thought I had...
I think if she just was a little bit rounder on that vowel, and some of the vowels around it, it would just be a bit fuller.
Everything figured out. It goes to show just how much I know
quite like the way she shaped that back. Have a listen to how she actually closes the rear of the vocal tract before she forms the consonant. It just gives it a nice little nuance, which is not overly familiar to me as being, overly common.
And I find myself coming back to you.
Cool.
My one and only, one and only you.
A little bit of a country sort of lilt into, you get the, yeah, have a listen.
One and only, one and only you.
Cool. The shape of that ooh, I think, could be rounder, right? And I've identified this, someone who I think does this very well, and I'm not choosing to mention her to compare her to what we're listening to now, but someone who does tend to round her oohs quite well is Morissette, and I've made comment about that in previous videos. And I think here we could get a rounder ooh again. It would add to, it would be value add again. It doesn't detract from what we're hearing, but it would, I think, add to the performance.
Now I know that I've known not a thing at all, except the fact that I am yours and that you.
I love that little bit, just that little vocal fry on the onset. And again, something that I really appreciate about the way she's doing this piece is she's not overdoing any one thing. Singers fall into the trap of learning a trick, and then, it's like if you've got a hammer in hand, everything suddenly becomes a nail. And she doesn't fall for that. She's being very purposeful in where she chooses to color different things at different times. It's great.
I am yours and that you are mine.
She doesn't quite nail that line. We hear there's at least one bum note in that as far as the passing note she's choosing.
You are mine. I take one.
And that's where probably we do get a detraction, from what we hear, because that was flat, but it wouldn't have been if she'd been a bit more active on her vocal track. So it's a resonance flatness, like it's a tonal flatness. The tone is pulling the note off pitch, not the pitch at her level of her vocal folds, but the way the tone is shaping, and it just causes her to not quite nail the note. Have a listen to that.
I take.
Because the tone just doesn't quite, she gets to it, but it kind of doesn't get to it, in my humble opinion. You can leave your comments below and let me know what you think. It doesn't get to it quick enough, would be my thought.
I take one step away.
There again.
And I find myself coming back to you.
I wish we could have a bit rounder. I love that tone. Before she gets to the bigger note, I love the tone just there. There's a beautiful resonance to that. Have a listen.
My one and only, one and
Yeah, that's pretty.
only. Oh, you told me that this wouldn't be easy.
See what I mean by it's not a big belt piece. It is really quite subdued. Would it even be called a pop, like a power ballad? It's definitely a pop ballad. But it doesn't get, it's not boisterous. It's just lovely in its arrangement in that it has a moment of build, but it's not in your face. And I quite like that about the song.
I want to complain.
And again, she doesn't quite, and you know, in a once only, remembering this is a single take, right? So any discussion of pitch, I can tell you I wouldn't do any better, and there would be very few singers that would, because you know when we do these one takes, the natural imperfection of biology is at play. She could definitely nail these notes. There's no question of that, in the sense that if she was recording this in the studio, you know, she'd probably take her a second take and she would nail it. They'd drop her in, bang, got it, and then they'd move on. But we hear in the movement when she flips into that upper register, it doesn't quite get up and on to the note.
Want to complain.
Just under.
Away, and I find myself coming back to you, my one and only, one and only. I take one step away, and I find myself coming back.
That was interesting. You can hear that the placement falls back, and actually I quite like it as a stylistic effect. I'm not sure that it was done on purpose, that one, but it certainly stood out to me.
And I find myself coming back to you, my one and only, one and only.
I just want to hit the one thing I think through this whole performance that would really benefit her would be the shaping of the lips. It would. If she had have been more active with her lips throughout the performance, it would have actually value added, like I've been talking about, but value added in a way that would have helped with some of the pitch inaccuracies. It would have developed the tone. If you had not watched this analysis, and perhaps other analyses of it, I haven't watched anyone else do an analysis, I'm sure they have, you would listen to that beginning to end and go, that was beautiful, because it's beautiful. And again, very few of the points that I've made are detracting from the performance. We're talking about how can we make it better, what would add value to the performance, and some of those things I think would. Leave your comments below. I'm going to do some more analyses of Julianne's voice, because I think it's beautiful, and I know she's got other performances up there. So I'll be keen to have you subscribe and join our ever-growing community here on Voice Essentials of people who here at Voice Essentials. I'm a voice instruction channel. We're not just purely an entertainment channel. So if you are looking for first reaction videos, I'm not your guy. But if you're looking for in-depth analysis and you know, being able to apply these skills to your own voice, because we're a Learn to Sing channel, then I think you'll enjoy what we do here every week. And I look forward to seeing you in the next vocal analysis video. I'm Dr. Dan. Sing well.